everyone, it's Make for Life. In today's P4L review, we'll be taking a look at another pre-production sample from Fans Toys. This time, this is their FT-16 Sovereign. And if you can't tell, that's their version of an MP Galvatron. It's kind of redundant to say MP with all of the Fans Toys stuff, because I don't think they've ever made anything not MP. Which is good, but also, again, kind of redundant for me. Let's start off with robot mode, but before we do that, let's go ahead and go with the disclaimers. This is a pre-production sample, which means it's not a final piece. Any of my opinions or issues with this may go away by the time this guy actually comes out in retail, because of the fact that it is a few months away. I think they pushed this back to maybe early next year or late December. So maybe it's not too far off, but again, this sample is from a little while ago. I just got my hands on him. So as you can see, he looks really quite nice in robot mode. I think as most Fans toys go, they focus really on the robot mode over the alt modes. You can see he does come with a little matrix necklace where you can reenact the movie. It looks quite nice. I don't know if I have a matrix, official matrix, masterpiece matrix around that I can compare it to, but it feels and looks about the same from what I can tell, just having it in my hands. And again, it does come with a little chain for necklacing it. So we'll put that off to the side. One other thing he does have, in addition to his stock face, which is kind of just a stoic, straight face, there we go, he has an angry face, which is very easy to replace. It's just two pegs here. You can just lift up his head and then pull it out at the chin. I'm not going to do that right now just because it's a little hard to access, but believe me, it's easy to do overall. And the weight of this guy is the first thing that you typically find with Fans Toys. This guy is close to 2 pounds, which is really, really massively heavy. Sorry about that. Let me focus back. He's really, really heavy. He does feature kind of all the bells and whistles that you would expect from Fans Toys. He does have diecast, I think, down here. I think this whole foot is diecast. I think his chest is, and some other parts. So he has a lot of diecast. I think his waist might be as well. A lot of diecast, so that's what adds to all the weight. He does feature a lot of metallic flaked plastic, as well as metallic flake purple paint on the diecast pieces. He does have this nice clear fusion cannon, but if you like a more cartoony one, you can get the solid one here as well. They both work in both modes and they both transform fairly simply. No LEDs on this guy, which is kind of a disappointment. I don't know if that's going to come later or not, or in the final figure. I'm not sure. There seems to be plenty of space to accommodate that, but I don't think that's in the design, which is kind of a bummer. His face sculpt is really good. I really like the DX9 Tyrant face sculpt, but this is just one step beyond it. It's kind of like how I liked the Mitron face sculpt, but then the official Megatron's face sculpt is just a tad bit better. So take that as you will. I don't think Tyrant's is bad, but this one definitely is the best I've seen for Galvatron. As far as articulation goes, his head does swivel, does have a little bit up, not a lot of down because of his chin. His arms are on ratchets, softly ratcheted. I wish they were a little bit stronger. His actual shoulder piece can move a bit, tends to move a bit. It's not supposed to, but with the way it's designed, it does have a little bit of play there. He does have a bicep swivel. His little treads that are on the back of his arms can move around, but that's really for transformation. He does also have a lower bicep swivel. And then he has double jointed elbows where he can flex on you. He has another swivel at the forearms. So this guy has a lot of swivels on the arms. He does have a hinge here, so you can do a bit of curling action if you want. Again, show off his guns, figuratively and literally. And then he has a wrist swivel. His hands are typical Fans Toys hands, so his base joint on the thumb is on a ball joint to come back and around. He does have one pin of articulation here, and all the rest of the fingers are pinned at the same base joint and all individually pinned at 2 other points. Nice and tight. I do kind of wish they would experiment with ball joints at the thumbs, not the thumbs, the individual fingers like some other companies have. I kind of like that. It does give you a little bit of extra emotive personality, but it's not a deal breaker. These are really solid hands. No, no quote-unquote ab crunch or anything like that. Oh, sorry. That's one problem with this is the sample is a little bit loose on the peg onto the forearm. No ab crunch, but he does have really nice rotation. He doesn't have full 360 because of all this back kibble, which is my one major complaint I would say about his robot mode. His hip skirts do move out the way to give you some ratcheted leg action. You can move this out of the way to get a little bit more. Back out to the side is friction, which a lot of people prefer over ratchets going outwards. He has an upper thigh swivel. He has double jointed knees, and he has this little knee thing. I don't really like this knee thing. One, because it's pinned, and this sample is already coming loose. You can see it just kind of flops around. I'm sure that's a tolerance thing, not a big deal, hopefully. Down here, he can move his ankle cover out of the way if you need to, but really there should be no reason to. He doesn't have a lot of upward movement. He does have some downward, but that's where you can see the hole in the heel. He does have ankle tilt, which can go all the way in like that, but he breaks up the look of the foot. I really don't like these ankle tilt engineering where it's in the middle. Oh, not in the middle, but on the side here, because it does break up the ankle look a lot. He does have a tilt and some forward, some downward tilting, but that's really for transformation. No real forward of any kind. And on the back here, if you want to get that out of the way, you can get a little bit more articulation there. I think I covered everything. I guess you can talk about the hip skirts. They move up and down this way, but I also have a little bit of pivot there. Yeah, so robot mode looks really quite nice. It does feature the, what I always consider overly heroic proportions of a really big chest, really teeny tiny waist, and then big legs again. If you like it, it works for you. This one is actually not as bad as some of the proportions like on their bugs, especially because it's Galvatron, he is the leader. The back kibble is what gets me the most. This kind of piece, I wish it folded up a bit more or something, but it just kind of hangs out. You just have it here. All this kibble here, even up here, reminds me of kind of the bombshell that they had, which featured a bit of kibble. It's not all that bad though. Again, a lot of die cast here in the knees. Paint applications are really well done, and even this translucent red that they use is quite nice. Plugging this back in. So let's do some quick comparisons with some figures in your collection, most likely. MP10, you can see he stands almost head to head. He's actually a little bit taller, especially if you get the legs collapsed a bit. He is a little bit taller, and I'm okay with that. Of the many Megatrons, third-party Megatrons we have, the only one, that's where his Matrix is. So they're pretty similar in stature. It's not a copy of the mold, but you can see my Apollyon here. Again, if you stand him straight up, he's about as tall as MP10, so he's going to be slightly taller. I still very much like this figure, even with all the options that we have out here. He's the only one in my collection at this point. And then the only other third-party Megatron, or even official Megatron that we have for the MP scale, is Tyrant here. And he suffers from the ankle A ratchets in the legs. Tyrant is slightly taller from what I can tell. It looks just a tiny bit taller. Not that much, but enough that it's noticeable. They both have very different takes. He has like much more paint. He's more metallic looking, a deeper, darker purple, which I don't know if I love or not. I actually think this one looks a little bit better in terms of color accuracy. But the finish on this is undeniably better. And you can see he also has a big Matrix necklace. Doing a quick comparison to the side. Much cleaner, much cleaner back on Tyrant, I would say. But people like the accuracy of having the treads on the biceps, which I can totally get behind. And then the biggest complaint that most people have are these hideous feet on Tyrant, which Sovereign does not have a problem. We'll get Tyrant out of here for now and bring it back in when we get into alt mode. But yeah, really great robot mode. Definitely have no complaints there in terms of overall look, aside from the back kibble. And the quality, again, is very much there. So before we go into transformation, I did want to mention, aside from these accessories like the extra cannon, the matrix necklace, and the extra face, he does come with 2 other accessories, I believe. So one is the flight stand, which came with Soar. I don't have my Soar right now since I'm waiting on my Soar X, but it's that big flight stand, and it does make use of his little crotch piece here and this hole in the back, so you'll be able to use that as a flight stand for him. And then you'll also come with a effect piece, which is going to be a big purple like blast piece, which you can use for blasting out of the cannon as a gun, or it could be kind of how he used to fly, right? He sometimes flew with his cannon. So you will have those kind of fun pieces to play with. All right, so let's go ahead and get into transformation. The first thing we'll do is open this. Oh, well, not open. First thing we'll do is take the cannon, open up this piece. Come on, there's a little tab up here, but it's sometimes hard to reach into. There we go, and then the other half opens up too, but I just go ahead and push that through. It's a little bit easier. Close that up, and then this big stubby piece will plug into the front of his alt mode, but we'll put it off to the side for now. Now we're going to start with the hands. So the hands have to be positioned like this, which is, you know, basically bent at the base and then bent at the first pin joint at the fingers and flattened out like this with the thumb at the top. I wanted to show you how that looked there, but let's go ahead and show how it works. Again, straighten it out, fold it there, fold it down, and keep the thumb on top, which is a little bit different than what we usually see in transformations. Coming to the back of the arm, you're going to stretch all this out, and you'll see that there's a tab on the elbow. Once you straighten it out, just tab that in. You're going to get this and rotate it all the way around, just that piece, and then rotate the fist. All right. You'll see that there's a tab slot there that corresponds to this. And then once you get the fist in, that tab should get in place, and then this piece comes around and covers up the fist and also secures everything into place. And this is kind of how the cannon mode, I think, is going to look, right? Same thing on the other side. So rotate the fist, rotate this tread piece, tab in the form. Where is it? There we go. Just going to tab in there while the fist goes in. Flip this closed to secure everything into place. Next thing we'll do, let's scoot in just a little bit. Actually, let's do it this way. Scooting in just a little bit like so. The shoulders, the chest are held into place with these pieces here. Just lift up the arms and then pull down, and these space fillers will come down. You're gonna actually pull down on the whole shoulder piece. Don't pull it down here. It's probably best to pull near the shoulder piece, and it should come down like that. Flip it up like so, and it's going to come in like that. So I'll show you on the other side. Again, push down while holding the shoulder in place. There we go. We're going to open up the chest. That comes untabbed. And then at this point, go ahead and flip the shoulders down, and this little tab piece will go in there. Push it in very securely. You'll hear a definitive click once it actually gets in place. There we go. Same thing here. Again, it should sit much closer to the body than just resting it. There we go. Whew, it's kind of tough. Now from here, you'll see inside, and you actually have a set of double hinges. What you're going to need to do is basically break the upper body and lower body, but I think maybe I have to untab this first. I always kind of forget. But go ahead and untab the backpack real quick. And untab this. Yeah, so once you get this untabbed, there's also a little tab here. It might be hard to reach. Flip that down. But once you kind of have the upper and lower body kind of separated, you're gonna pull up on this. See here? And then rock this back. It's gonna tab into the back. With the piece here, just straighten it out for now. This whole multiple piece section. Come to the top here. You're gonna wanna kind of push back on this. Once you push back on this, this top piece should pop out. That will give you the cannon. Just flip that purple piece around only. Keep the top piece in like so. Come to the chest cavity, push this down, and make sure these little pieces in here have enough room to rotate through. And you're gonna get the head to rotate through like so. While you do that, while you rotate the head in, flip this purple piece so that it stays out. You can kind of get these purple arm pieces down and around like this. Like so. Alright. So once you keep rotating down like this, you'll see these pieces. And these pieces are on a double hinge. Just push that into the shoulder. Push here to kind of get it all in place. Same thing here. There we go. Push it there. Looks like this pin is popping out a bit, so that's why that one's not sitting as flush, but you get the idea. And then you can close this up. Okay. So now we're almost done with the upper body. Flip this closed. And then as I said, on that double hinge, you have another big thick tab here. You're just gonna tab in like that. Oh, no, sorry, real quick. You have to rotate this piece around like that. So when you collapse this in, this chest piece will tab in there. Now the chest piece is also on the double hinge, so once you get it down, you're gonna kind of collapse it into the chest piece. That will all tab into place like so. These pieces just kind of hang out for now. They really just kind of fold in like this. But I think they might run into some interference if I do that now, but we're gonna try it. Oh, one other funny thing, this piece rotates around to just have a more accurate little piece here. I don't know why they felt the need to do that, but again, they could have probably just molded it on both sides, this symmetrical, so you don't have to spin that around, but hey, I'm not an engineer. Down to the lower body. The foot will flip in like so. Kind of get these hip skirts out of the way for now. And then you're going to come into the inside of the leg. Flip this open. Flip this open. And then get this piece flipped around and out like this. From here, you'll see this is on the sliding joint. Slide that all the way down. And what you'll do is there's almost combiner wedges in the leg. How it collapses, just rotates back around on itself. There's a tab deep within there. Go. There we go. The purple piece comes up like this. It's gonna kind of sit like this. Along the back, this piece will come up and fill in that gap there. Did that collapse all the way? Okay, I think so. And then this piece comes back around and closes. Something seems not right. Oh, yeah, so then you have to get the kind of big long tail piece through like this. Close this up. Okay, same thing on the other side. Open this up, flip this around, flip this open, on the sliding joint that comes down. Collapse this in on itself. Close this back up. Come on. There we go. And then the two halves of the legs will plug in together. Make sure that this kind of strut goes vertical between the two legs. Like that. And that will secure this kind of piece in place. This piece will tab into the crotch. And then these black gray pieces, gunmetal pieces, they kind of fold in next to the thigh. There's kind of a gap here. Fold that in, and then you'll see slots that correspond to the tabs on the side here. You just kind of give it a firm push. I do feel like this is a little messy, but okay. Then once you have that done, the hip skirts use that one piece of rotation there to go like this. Sorry about that, had to answer the door. But now that you have this basically all done, sorry, flip this closed, you can go ahead and get these tabs situated with these purple pieces. And these will come around, and deep in there you have a set of tabs that correspond to this. There we go. Same thing on the other side. And I was wrong, I thought these purple pieces would get in the way, but again, they just kind of tuck away like this. There's no tabbing or anything like that for those pieces. I think we're basically there now. And here, we'll go ahead and use this solid colored one. You see there's a little notch here that goes there. Goes like that. And because of the chest didn't... Oh yeah, so again, the chest came undone here. Make sure it's fully closed, like that, or else the chest won't tab in correctly. But yeah, the one thing with this design is that it's actually designed to have kind of a wider stance, and you make use of the kind of wrist tilts that we showed off before, the curling tilts, that will get him in the correct orientation. So that way this sits flat here, and these are sitting kind of flat as well. So yeah, there is an alt mode, very complex transformation. I remember going back and I was looking at my Tyrant video complaining about how much I did not like that transformation. Looking at it now, I think that was a bit more elegant than this. We'll do a comparison in just a second, but you can see there's treads here. Not treads, a little wheel here, as well as wheels up here. Not really much other articulation except, here, and then you can make use of this. I guess you can try to fake a gun mode like this, but not really this is going to be a fan mode, right? Nice big cannon. Again, you'll have that effect part that goes in here. Pretty clean overall, not a lot of gaps. This is a little empty, and then you have a little bit of this kneecap showing, but by and large, I think they did a really good job making his alt mode, a nice big space cannon. For comparison, let's bring out their Weird Wolf. It's quite big. Oh, sorry, can't even see him. This is going to be the new combined mode instead of the one with mind wipe and so forth. Here he is compared to an MP car. And here we have Sovereign next to his long lost brother Tyrant. And it's hard for me to pick which one I think I prefer. Sorry about that. This one is actually a little loose. Let me go ahead and throw this one on. It's hard to say which one I prefer. I will say that I feel like this one feels a little bit more solid. The Tyrant I think feels a little bit more solid. It doesn't have any problems with, again, kind of the tolerances here. But obviously this is the final version. This is a pre-production sample, so that could be the case. But I also, kind of like the, LED effect. These pieces are solid. These are kind of loose. This piece here, I think, is not as strong as this piece here. And this has actually working treads, even if they are a little bit difficult to manipulate. So I would say if I were to pick one, I would say this one looks a bit better, even though this one may be a little bit more accurate. And this one actually has takes some more homages from the toy than this one does. So in any case, they're both solid. I mean, as far as space cannons go, they both kind of look the part. All right, so let's go ahead and get this guy transformed back. Once again, let's go with the cannon. Open up the two sides, flip this piece out. There we go, and we'll use that tab later. We'll start with the lower body again. Get these pieces out. We also have to separate these purple pieces to release the upper and lower body. Get these hip skirts out the way. I am on camera, right? Yeah, good. Alright. And then from here, we're going to start kind of opening this up. These come untabbed. These will open up. Get the legs kind of... Oh, sorry, you have to untab up here too. Get these legs extended. Once you do, go ahead and flip this down as well. Get this sliding joint up. This will flip around and close up. This kind of collapses in on itself. When it closes, like that, get this kneecap around, like so. This will flip down, and then the foot will come out to play. There we go. Get that rotated around. Same thing on this side. Let's go ahead and get his little taily piece out of the way for now. Open this up. Make sure to flip this back of the leg down. Extend this through. The important piece, again, being that sliding joint. Collapse this and flip this around. Get this in without tabbing up here. And then once again, it'll kind of collapse in on itself and tab in there. Close up the kneecap. Close this up. Get the toe out again. So going this way is much easier and faster. So let's go ahead and get the upper body done. Just straighten these out. They're going to go like this. For now, we'll go ahead and open the chest piece. Extend that out. On this side, I'm going to go ahead and untab here. Get these all done. Get these pieces out. Right here. Come on. This one's kind of stuck in there. Come on. Of course, this is going to cause me problems. There we go. Finally got that out. This can come up like this. Alright, so the upper body, again, extend that, and that's going to come, so it's up forward, it's going to go up and back around. Before we tab that in though, we want to rotate the upper body. I think that's correct, right? Yeah, there we go. And then you can tab the bottom and top together. Come back here. Open this piece up. Piece is going to come up. Then you'll need to separate this piece again. There we go. Flip this open. Get the purple piece around. Now it's going to tuck in. The head It's going to rotate on this platform out. While you do that, make sure to flip this piece down and around, like so. It's going to come up around to the back of the head. You do want to open up these flaps to get this piece down. The reason why you need this piece down is so that this can rotate in. And this piece, I haven't figured out exactly how to do it, but you kind of have to do it in tandem, like this. You have to have the head tilted forward a bit, and then close it up together. Flip this closed. Now his little tail piece. You'll see this big long tab here. It actually goes in like this. Once you have that piece completely collapsed, I think I do. That tabs in. This will go up. This will go down. Like this. And that's as collapsed as you're going to get it. Go ahead and tab in the chest. These purple wing pieces will come down and tab in to the side here. There we go. Remembering once again that this one piece here can rotate to flip to the front. A small detail. Now we're going to get to the arms, the shoulders again. What you do is pull out on the shoulders to untab them down here. Get the shoulder pieces up. Let's do it on this side too. And then once these shoulders are out, again, you're going to push up all the way until you hear that click. There should be no gap between the gray piece and the purple piece in here. Again, trying to show it on this side. Got it close, and then you hear the snap. Then the filler pieces just go in to finish kind of the obliques, I guess. Go ahead and you can just pull down on this, or if you can reach in there, which is a bit difficult on the back side, you can flip this around, straighten that out. The tread piece of the bicep is going to go all the way around, and this is going to collapse. Bend at the elbow, flip to fist, and repeat. Open this up, straighten it out, get this around, shoulders, go like this, and then lastly the tab. This can go on either arm if you want, but obviously it's supposed to go on the right. If it's not the right arm, it's the wrong arm. There we go. And there we have Sovereign back in his robot mode. Let's go ahead and put on his necklace while we talk about final thoughts. So of the 3 samples I currently have, or pre-production samples I currently have from Fans Toys, this is probably my favorite. It's really well executed overall. His robot mode looks pretty spot on. I like the overall proportions. A couple things that I don't like are kind of like these like flappy things here. The kibble on the back. But I do like the fact that his treads are on the back of his arm as is designed. Other aspects of it, the transformation is way more complicated than I think it needs to be. Like even again things like this, right? Like this piece. Like, did they really need to do that? Probably not. Some aspects of it could have been a bit more simplified. Like they have the way Tyrant did it. They actually made use of this thing as this piece. So this one kind of plays. That one played kind of double duty. In this case here, you don't have that. So you have extra kibble. I mean, that's where all this comes from. But the heft, I mean, it's almost twice as heavy as Tyrant. And Tyrant is by no means a light figure, but it is much heavier. You do have a lot more die cast. The paint is phenomenal. It looks much nicer on your shelf, I would say, as a display piece with the nice purple paint and the metallic plastic, the metallic flake plastic. So if you haven't picked up a Galvatron yet, this guy might be the one for you. X-Transbots teased their Galvatron a long time ago, I think before Sovereign, and yet they still haven't come out with theirs. So I'm interested to see how their Galvatron will come to play, if at all. And then obviously the way that the way that the official Takara Tomy Masterpiece line is going, the rate at which they're going, and the fact that they've done Ultra Magnus, Delta Magnus, as well as Hot Rod, makes you think that they're going to get to Galvatron sooner rather than later, right? You know, probably not too far behind their Megatron. The price is actually quite good for a Fans Toys figure. With all the things that you're getting, it's actually relatively cheap. And I think that has to do with the entire market becoming a bit cheaper on the third-party space. So it is really well priced, I would say. Alright? So if you have any comments or questions, leave that in the comment section below as always. If you want to add this guy to your collection, go ahead and click on the Toy Dojo link in the description below. And again, he should be shipping in the next month or two. Hopefully, this guy will be a stocking stuffer for you if you want him. Keep up with my news and reviews by following me on Facebook. Obviously, subscribing if you have a chance. Give it a like and a share if you have a chance as well. Alright? Happy holidays, everyone.